Finished training for the day? Time to fight post-workout fatigue with Core Power Protein Shakes. They're packed with 26 grams of high-quality protein to build muscle and electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to help your body replenish, rebuild, and repair post-workout so you can power on to the next one. Champion your recovery with Core Power. Visit corepower.com to learn more.
Not helpful. It doesn't address that a lot of people are under stress that they cannot control.
I think we just used to aggressively deliver information. Exercising too much, don't do that.
But also still exercise.
People are like, but how much? I don't know, please help me. These posts aren't helpful. Hey, it's Meredith. We have kind of a special episode today. A few weeks ago, I sent out an email with some old social media content and wrote about why we wouldn't create that content today and how problematic it was and how we might talk about some of those same topics if we were to create similar content today. I've never gotten so many replies to an email before. So today, we're going to do that same thing, but in audio form. We're walking down memory lane, like way down it, and picking apart some old content. I'm recording this intro after we've recorded the podcast, and I can tell you it was actually way cringier than I was really prepared for. So I hope that you enjoy listening to this. It's pretty wild to look back and reflect on how we used to see things versus how we see them now. The links to the posts that we talk about will be in the show notes if you feel like following along. Ugh. Okay, here we go. I like how it was like 4 p.m. on a Thursday, which is kind of no man's land for eating because you're like in your mind, you're like, dinner's coming up. But lunch was a long time ago. But I also haven't gone to the grocery store in a while. And I was like, I need to eat because I have to finish some of these weekly workout videos. And when I run out of glycogen in my brain, I bonk. So I was like, okay. I look in the cabinet. And I was like, oh, perfect. A bag of tortilla chip crumbs. Most of the chips are gone. It's just what you can grab with your fingies. So I get those and I'm sort of eating those. And I was contemplating getting some cottage cheese out. Just to sometimes I like to put chippies in cottage cheese because it's a real sensory experience.
First off, that can be dangerous. One time, a chippy, not a full chip, a half, a quarter chip.
A chippy, yeah.
It stabbed the top of my mouth.
Yes, your palate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It ended up upright in my mouth. And I chomped down.
The nerve.
And it hit the top of my mouth. And I'm pretty sure it cut me.
Yeah, because if most of the chippies are flat, they're supposed to be, and you're chomping them with your molars as one does, but then one is ha, and it orients itself vertically. Then you've just murdered your mouth.
Yeah. And so I always stay away from the bottom of chip bags now, especially tortilla chips.
Well, I mean,
those
you can
are the
always
most dangerous ones.
Put them in, and then what I do is I put them in my mouth, and I have 4 fingers involved because how you have to pinch them the claw.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of put all your fingers in your mouth like a toddler. That's how you have to do it. And then I get my fingers out, and then immediately it's ew, gross, my hands. But then what I do is I sort of suck on the chippies to make sure they're all flat.
Okay.
And then we proceed.
That doesn't sound appetizing at all. And I don't use all 4 or 5 of my fingers. I use 2 fingers.
Yeah, we just have different.
We do.
Yeah.
Which leads me to.
Well, so I look over, I'm having my chippies, and because you were I think I need to eat something. But I wasn't paying attention to you because I was too engrossed in my chippies. And I look over and you've got you went full on Ben & Jerry's pint from the freezer, cookies, cookie dough ice cream. Yeah. Which not cookie dough, cookies and cream.
I needed something cold. That's what I felt like I needed.
Okay. Well, obviously I was oh, I mean, I can party. It's 4 p.m. We can do some cookies and cream.
It's not even I go ham. I'm just I need something cold. I need something super delicious.
Yeah.
And so that was obviously the obvious option.
Obviously, obvious.
But we don't always have pints of ice cream. I will buy them.
You know when the pints of ice cream show up? Before a race. It's
Yeah,
like there's
you-
actually a pattern. It's about 3 weeks before a race. In like the last bit of your like very hard training before you go to taper, all of a sudden there's pints of ice cream. Which is whatever. I can get down with that. But you were like, it was like, oh, I can have some of that. And I think you're like, well, get your own spoon. As you do.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to buy different. Okay, so I usually buy 2 flavors.
Yeah.
Usually I get chocolate hazelnut Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah.
Because that's the best. And then I'll do another one that's usually vanilla based. And this time I went with Ben & Jerry's ice cream sandwich, which is basically like a cookies and cream.
Yeah.
And I eat ice cream very different than you do. And so I think what I'm going to do is next time I'm going to buy 2 chocolate hazelnut and 2 of the other ones.
Yeah.
So 4 pints, 2 different flavors, so that you can have yours and I can have mine. Because
I think the main difference, if we're eating from pints, like it's spoon angle. You have like
it's spoon angle and
you
it's
have,
also
like-
number of spoonfuls.
you have like a 20. You're like a 23-degree angle,
I scrape the top.
and I'm more of a 45-degree angle.
Here's how I eat ice cream.
I'm sometimes a 90 if there's something that needs to
This
get
is how
dug
I eat
out.
ice cream. I never spoon it out into a bowl. I always eat it from the pint. Because I'm not someone that I'm not someone that eats too much. I just don't. Like,
Okay.
I've always been that kid. I just like, not worried about eating the whole pint. So I don't need to spoon it out and measure it or like have my serving. I scrape from the top and I move down the pint in a very uniform way where like it's always smooth. It's like eating a piece of cake where you eat uniformly down the slice of the cake and not have any uneven. So if you eat a little bit on the left side, you have to even it out by eating on the right side.
Why though?
It's just what I prefer.
See,
And you come in
uh-huh.
and I've got this like thing going on. It's very pleasing. And you just go in. First off, you always dig. So we can't do cookie dough or anything like that.
Well, they need to come out because like, how do you? They have to come out.
You have to earn the cookie dough by eating around it and getting to the next level where a cookie dough exposes itself.
What?
You can't just go straight down into the cookie dough because then you're left with a bunch of ice cream around the hole that you've created, the crater.
What if I want it right now though?
Exactly, but you can't do that if we're sharing. That's my point.
I mean, at least I used to dig with forks. So like at least I don't do forks anymore. Also, if it's up to me and maybe if I have my own pints, I like putting ice cream in a bowl.
Yeah.
Because I like it's usually not a bowl, it's usually like a coffee cup.
Yeah.
I like the ritual of like scooping it out and putting it in. Because when you scoop it out, there's like a amount of digging that occurs. So you can kind of like, oh, what do I want to go in my cup?
Yeah.
But it's like a ritual for me. I like
we have different rituals.
Yeah. What's one of yours?
I like to eat the ice cream in the way that I described.
Oh, that's the ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also don't like digging it out because ice cream melts incredibly fast. And I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it when it doesn't have that like melted film around it, which occurs when you put it in a bowl
It's
or a
not
cup.
film. It's just like melted ice cream.
It is. It's
I
like
like it.
Okay, see, I don't. So if
I
I
like when
keep
it
it in the
melts a
pint,
little bit.
every single amount that I take isn't melted.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to get our own pints.
Should have been you should have immediately known. You're like, get your own spoon. And you had one of our like tiny English teaspoons. And I came out with like a soup spoon.
I know you also eat ice cream at a faster pace than I do.
Uh-huh.
So sometimes I go in for my ice cream and I'm like, wait, where'd it go?
Yeah, but sometimes, yeah.
It's okay. I'm not judging. I just think it would be better if we had our own.
Yeah. And then I can dig out. I'm also if I have a slice of cake, I'm eating the back of the cake like early in the process.
See, yeah, you have to earn the back of the cake.
But why? Like, why always delay the gratification? You can have what you want when you want it. And then you don't have all the buildup of like, that must be an enormous amount of tension you live with. And I'm saying that as if I don't know that you live with an enormous amount of tension. You should start eating the back of your cake first and dig out your ice cream
I'm all about
bits.
delayed gratification.
I
delay gratification so much that often I never even experience it. It's all delay. It's no gratification.
I know. So maybe a path towards like, inner peace, calm. You can reduce some tension by like eating your cake backwards. Eat the top of the muffin first. Eat the top of the cupcake. Have what you want when you want it. We don't have to always delay gratification. That's such a like Western society thing.
I know it is. I don't actually think the way that I eat ice cream is delayed gratification. It's equal gratification. It's
you like
very
what you
equal. I like what I like.
I'm surprised you are not like a totally homogenous ice cream flavor kind of person, given that. Like, I don't know how you can possibly handle the Haagen-Dazs chocolate hazelnut that has veins of chocolate.
This one bugs me because you can't go top to bottom.
No, you have
to dig.
Those things are coming out.
Sometimes I'll dig and then I have to move the ice cream around to like pack it down flat again.
I know. I go in there. I'm like, she's done it again. She has repacked this thing. I'm like, just leave it alone. It like changes the texture of it. I don't know.
Okay. So we've had our ice cream.
We had ice cream. And then I thought for today, it would be really fun to do a podcast. And this is partially because I wrote this email a few weeks ago and it was like hands down the most popular email that I've ever written. And it was like three social media posts that we would never write today. And it was basically like, I went way back on our Instagram and pulled up some old content and read it. And I could barely read it through my cringing. But basically I like, here's the original post. Here's what it said. Here's why it's wrong. Here's what we would write today if we were to write on the topic. And the email I got tons of responses, which I don't always get on emails, but it was, I think, remarkable. Number one, people don't often reflect on like the things that they used to do that were problematic or opinions that have changed. So I think just to see someone reflect that way and, come to a more holistically appropriate place with messaging. Because looking back at our content from like 2019, I'm like, what the hell were we doing? Our best.
We were doing our best.
We were doing our best with what we had and what we knew. And like, there's no one, it was like a weird time in Instagram where it was like still mostly written content and photos.
In our defense, we were never extreme.
No.
We just weren't as holistic or inclusive and understanding as we are now.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've pulled what, like 8 or 9 posts here that I thought it would be really fun to go through and reflect on, read the caption, describe the image.
You'll link them too.
Well, I'll link them. Yeah. So in the show notes, we'll have like
this photo of you right here, doing a kissy face needs to be.
Oh yeah, you need
to see this.
I should actually maybe just make this like the cover of the podcast for this week. Yeah, but I'll link these in order that we talk about them so you can see what we're talking about.
Okay, let's dive in.
Okay.
But you should say the date first.
How do I find the date?
It's at the bottom. July 8th, 2021.
July 8th, 2021. Why don't you read this one?
Okay.
Describe it, read it, read the caption, and let's just go through it.
I'm reading this cold. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, all of these are pretty much cold.
Okay, so it's a picture of Meredith from 2021. She's looking jacked, and I like it. She's doing a kissy face. She's wearing makeup. She's got a cool, like, Reebok bra on. It's blue. And she's got her hands behind her back. And it says beside her, "You can't have full-time results on part-time commitment." And the caption reads, "Does full-time commitment mean perfection? Absolutely not. Commitment, as it pertains to physical change, weight loss, muscle building, etc., means having a daily awareness of what is being done for exercise and eating.
Oh my God.
Okay, fast forward to a post from last week where you basically had to warn people that we were going to be talking about weight loss.
Oh yeah.
That's how extreme our like shift has been. That's called a making something a priority.
Oh, cool. A typo. So that's called making something a priority.
Most people demonstrate an ability to prioritize the things they believe are important in their lives. Some examples: not being late to work, paying the mortgage on time, social time with friends, spending time on Instagram, ... All of these require awareness. If I'm late to work, I'll get fired. And systems, alarm clock, that facilitate the achievement of these daily actions. It's very easy to say you want to make physical change. It's more difficult to identify what actions need to be prioritized and learn how to fit those in with everything else that is a priority in life. Part-time commitment is doing the right things when they are convenient, when they fit in by coincidence, or without having to manipulate your more important priorities. Part-time commitment is fine if you're willing to adjust the expectations you have of what results can be achieved.
Okay, that's not the worst.
I actually don't mind these last two paragraphs.
Yeah.
When adding or changing behavior, it can initially feel very hard because it feels foreign. Kind of like switching a night shift to night shift after years of working day shift. But with time, these changes start to feel more natural. Full-time commitment isn't being perfect. It's committing to trying even when change is hard. It's committing to trying again when failure happens, which it will. It's committing to sticking with it even when progress is slower than you want, which is most of the time. Full-time commitment becomes easy. Part-time commitment will always feel hard. I actually don't hate the back half of that. I think what is the hardest part of this is the initial image and the first paragraph.
And I think this is such a theme for us, like early days. We were just total Sour Patch Kids with our content. Like it had to be like, we would just like slap people around a little bit and we're really like sour about it. And then we came around and it was like, but like, that's not nice. But I guess like it was like our brand there for a little bit.
I think we were partially Sour Patch Kids because we had to like fight our way onto the scene.
There was a lot of angst early days
and you get rewarded for being aggressive, and you still do to a degree, and we knew that, and we kind of took advantage of it. And honestly, like, we were getting feedback from people and clients. These are things that I need to hear. Like, I mean, the caption isn't all that bad. It's pretty in alignment with kind of what I say now.
Yeah, like the tail end of it.
I wouldn't maybe pin it as like physical change. I think any change.
Yeah, I think that's like we did used to be very focused on the physical side of things. Now we kind of just talk about change more generally. But
I kind of like that. You could almost like turn it into full-time commitment becomes easy. Part-time commitment will always feel hard.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
That's a nice
jumping off point.
Yeah,
like that would have been a better image.
Yes.
Because you could be like, wait, what? I gotta read this.
Huh.
Also, RIP written posts.
I know it was good times back then. Writing was really fun, but I mean, it completely. I think it just loses, the whole argument. And I remember why I wrote this, because I thought it was just like this. I had this like revelation. I was like, well, work's important enough for you to set an alarm. So, as if that was I was like, I gotcha, So anyways, just sort of like ignores the complexity of behavior change and how like the reasons why people struggle to make changes, even when they really, really want to. It's not like, that's called making something a priority. Like, yes, obviously.
Right.
But something you can want to prioritize something and not be prioritizing it, but also not understand why you can't put the pieces together.
It's not as bad as saying that we all have the same 24 hours.
No,
but it's
not that far off.
Yeah.
Okay,
this one is,
let's date it. What's the date? February 18th, 2019. Can I do this one?
Please.
All right. February 18th, 2019. This is the second post we're going to talk about today. The image. Let's see. it's we're both in it, so we rarely appear together in post. So already it's a special one, but it's extra special because we are standing in our underwear in front of a mirror, both taking selfies. So I hate that. Just already, I hate that. I hate I mean, I like the picture's cute, whatever. There's no text on the image, so this is just purely written post. And it goes, do not use your body weight as the sole measure of progress. Although the scale does measure your body fat and muscle, it also measures blood volume, hydration level, and your bowels. Why did I use that word? Especially if you don't have a good dump. Okay, good. Before stepping on the scale. It doesn't tell you your muscle and fat percentages. This means it tells you nothing about how lean you are, how healthy you are, or how good you look. What is most important is how you feel and look. Who says? Indicators for how you feel include how you're performing in and out of the gym, your confidence, your energy levels, and your sleep quality. Progress photos are a great way to notice change in how you look. It gives you a better indication of body composition. Comparing progress photos month to month will help you realize that you're making progress even if you don't notice it day to day. Tips for taking photos. Take them first thing in the morning. Capture the natural beauty. That sounds like you. 2, wear the same clothes as your girlfriend, but also in all of your photos. 3, use the same mirror and lighting. 4, take every 4 weeks, especially if you're a woman. 5, look for the good, not the bad. Okay, let's see here. I mean, the imagery is super problematic. Once again, it's like the two of us in underwear talking about how, a scale isn't important. It doesn't tell you how you feel and look. You can look good even if you're heavier. I mean, like, there's nothing that's not inherently wrong.
I mean, it's kind of boring.
It is boring. It is boring. I think, frankly, it was just a reason for us to like be half naked on the Instagram.
I do think that when we started nutrition coaching and the background that we came from in sport and in our athletic experiences with nutrition and our coaching experiences, but also the company that we worked for before Tactic.
Yeah.
There was a really big focus on aesthetics.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of inherited that, and it took a while for us to realize like this isn't necessarily what's important.
Yeah.
And I do have a small number of people who do progress photos because their goals are, among others, aesthetic based.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But we approach it in a specific way and we use it as data. And any goal is fine as long as it's not impacting your like health and wellness from a physical standpoint and a mental standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's, subjective. But I think this one just kind of says like, I don't know. It never says like,
it doesn't really come to a conclusion. It's like, here's how to take progress photos.
Yeah,
That's
but
kind
it's
of the
like
conclusion.
I don't know. There's like something missing, which is like maybe this is why someone might take progress photos. This is like
it is putting like physical progress on a pedestal.
Yes, that's yeah.
Yeah, which is I think a theme for us early on.
I think we definitely started phasing out of progress photos when a lot of people signed up and were very hesitant to take them, which I completely understand.
Yeah, you don't want to be pushing people to do that, and I totally get why. And I
think we always had it as optional.
Yeah.
And now it's more like, if you want to measure physical progress, this is what I would recommend. Mm-hmm. But it's for you or for me, or like, let's talk about it kind of thing. And I would say the majority of clients, probably 95%, do not take progress photos. I think actually probably more like 99% of my clients don't bother.
Yeah, it's just not, it's not required for performance, that's for sure. And it's definitely not required for health. And I think those are the two kind of categories of people that we largely work with now. So it makes sense. Mm-hmm. I heard this recently, like you'll hear people say, or like, they'll see a picture of themselves and like, I don't like that picture of me. And you've probably seen pictures of yourself. You're like, I don't like that. And I certainly have. And often like there can be this, like you don't really like pictures of yourself, period. But I heard this, someone said, were basically talking about that. And they're like, have you ever seen a beautiful sunset or a landscape? And you take a picture of it and you're like, that doesn't really do it justice. That's also true for you in pictures that exist of you. And I think that, because like what makes something, you can't really capture with a camera. Like there are cameras that exist that can take amazing photographs of people, of landscapes, but they're really expensive. Like to capture what the human eye can see requires an enormous investment in camera technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely nicer than your iPhone. It's definitely nicer than that shitty point and shoot that you have. I liked that take. That's a really kind way to think about pictures.
Yeah. I think the biggest value for photos is for someone to have an idea of what your body, if someone's helping you with something like macros, it's giving the person, providing guidance on nutrition or fitness. If your goals are aesthetic, to understand what your body composition currently is.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think you can honestly, when I stopped taking my shirt off in workouts for the most part and in front of the mirror and taking photos and comparing, my relationship with my body improved quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to focus more on performance. That was my personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
I look back, I look at this and I start looking at my body immediately. I
It's
look at this
wild.
photo and I'm like, okay, how is it different than what I am now? Like, it'd be interesting to compare my body now that I'm not doing full-time CrossFit with this and see what the difference is. I'm like, but why?
Yeah, what's the point?
Right?
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Next post. What's the date? February 2nd, 2019. Do you want to do this one?
Quote. Okay, well, wait. The photo is us competing at regionals,
Yes.
doing an event that involved skipping,
Double unders.
double unders. I think that was the 333.
It's actually a cool photo. It's like you, me, China Cho. And we're all,
Jordan's.
Jordan's in the background. And we're all like in the same, the three of us are in the same like moment with our jump rope. Like we're all kind of like mid jump on our toes. It's a cool picture. I like this picture.
One of my favorite workouts ever.
It's a great one.
Okay, so the quote, there is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Ernest Hemingway.
I don't hate the quote, but
I think it's puts comparison on a pedestal.
it's that whole issue of reference point. And I think it your former self, whoever that person is the only reason you are where you are. And so even if you are trying to make major changes in your life, whether that's physical change, changes to your mental health, leaving troubling relationships, like whatever it is, the person, you might be tempted to look back and think, why didn't I just do this sooner? Why didn't that person like get it together? And if I just done this, hush, you're doing it now. And the only reason you're doing it now is because of that person. So you can find some kindness there and some gratitude. You say, thank you for getting me here. Even if you wished you got there sooner.
Yeah. I think it's easy for us to say, look at how far you've come. Look at how much progress you've made at the thing that we're focusing on in this moment.
Yeah.
But it's so easy for us to do the same with something that we've lost progress on. And that's the problem.
Yep.
It's great to compare yourself. It feels good to compare yourself when your former self sucked and your current self is awesome in one regard. But the problem is we don't just take that. We also take, oh, well, like my relationship is in shambles and 8 years ago it was in a great place. Or I'm making less money than I am now. Or I'm not as fit as I used to be. Because of course you age, or maybe your priorities shift. Like it's so easy to compare to a prior self, and that prior self in whatever regard you want to be either worse or better.
Yeah.
We're not always getting better. We're just changing. And
change
there's
is
neutrality in that.
Yeah, because it's a two-way street. It goes both directions. And there's like impermanence baked into our existence. And if you can't wrap your head around that, like that is one of the core reasons why humans suffer from like a a Buddhist school of thought. It's impermanence. So like whatever you have now that's so great, you're not going to have it forever. Be okay with that. You know, you're going to make progress and then you're going to go backwards, and that's just change. It's like it's not linear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Okay. Next one. This one was in the newsletter.
Yeah.
So
this one is really when we were really sour on this day.
Yeah.
Another great photo of Meredith in her sports bra.
Dated. This is October 3rd.
Every single one of these have so far contained you in a sports bra.
I don't know what that says. I don't know. Yeah. I used to like the way I looked in sports bras. Now I feel neutral about it.
I guess the good thing about this one is it only got 191 likes.
Because people were like, get over yourself.
Yeah, probably. They saw right through it.
Self-indulgent twat. October 3rd, 2019. It is a picture of me in a gym in Calgary. The lights appear to be off. There's some key lighting up. I have been rubbed in coconut oil. That is not a lie. That happened for this photo shoot. So I'm shiny and I'm pissed off. I'm standing on one side. I'm looking off to the side like I just smelled something stinky. Veins are popping, abs are going off, and the text says
your bicep and tricep on your right arm is it's erect.
That's my strong arm. It was ready for whatever like caused this scent. The text says, and it is in all caps because we are yelling it, we must all suffer from one of two pains. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. In the caption, not in all caps, but certainly still yelling, one of them hurts more. Quote by Jim Rohn. This was in the newsletter. Goodness gracious. It implies so many things that are problematic. The last hashtag here says, don't eat like an asshole. I don't know what was going on here. I think I was I must have just listened to the David Goggins podcast.
I think what happened was it was 2019. You had only been in Canada for a year.
Yeah.
It's October 3rd. Uh-huh. It's getting cold.
She's mad. The American hasn't worn off
Winter
yet.
is coming.
Yeah.
You're ticked.
I am. I don't have the clothes for this climate. Really, like the pain I'm about to suffer from is physical, but like temperature wise. No, like my American hadn't worn off. That actually might be true of like a lot of our early content. I was just ready to fight anybody. But like what I said in the newsletter, the email, it implies that you have to pick one. Like you can be disciplined or you can have regret. Like there's nothing in the middle. That's what this says. And also the physical imagery, once again, uber problematic because it's like, hey, oh, look at me. I clearly work out a lot. I have, a bulging right arm. I'm ready to kick someone's ass if they disagree with this. Like,
no one commented really, so it worked.
Yeah, I scared everyone away, probably. And it implies that you have to be in pain all the time, which you don't actually have to be in pain. You can be seeking out pleasure, comfort, contentment, ease. Like this, you don't have to control everything. You don't have to live with rigidity in your life. There's an in between. There's a big old middle where you can be and be really happy, and not be so greasy and ticked off.
I would say this one is probably it is the antidote to what we preach now.
Yeah, it
could not be more opposite, mm-hmm. Which is funny.
Nope. Yep. Don't eat like an asshole. What? Don't post on Instagram like an asshole. I'm going to start using that hashtag. All right. Anything else to say on that one?
No.
I need to get that out of my eyeballs. I need to wash my face. I'm feeling greasy just from looking at that. Okay, next one. You can do this one. It's dated October 19th, 2019.
Okay. It is a photo of some sort of salad. And on top of it, it says the image, tracking and measuring food is not natural, but neither is the food available in our society.
Okay, caption.
Caption. Until you weigh and measure your food, you can't get a true understanding of what and how much you are eating. Research has shown that when asked how much they ate, people are likely to underreport food intake. Obese people are more likely than lean people to underreport food intake. Your opinion of your food intake is subjective until you measure it quantitatively. No, tracking and measuring food is not natural, but neither is the food available in our society. Weighing and measuring is a wonderful tool when used as an educational implement to understand and combat the plethora of highly palatable, low nutrient dense foods that we encounter every day. In order to get a grasp of how much you are eating and how best to adjust it to lose weight, gain weight, improve performance, feel better, etc., weighing and measuring food for at least a short period of time is the best starting point.
I mean, I actually think this might be worse. No, it's not worse than the last one. It's not good. It is, I'm sorry. I don't like the line, obese people are more likely than lean people to underreport food intake.
I started getting a little nervous after I read
Oh,
that. I was like, great, we're going to have to touch on that. I wish I could just delete it.
What a terrible thing to say.
I guess I could.
We used to have no sensitivity with using that word and talking about people who are in large bodies. So that I would just a blanket apology if you go back onto our old content and consider this a trigger warning. The separation, the saying like lean people are obviously better at life or healthier, obviously is problematic and untrue. The appeal to nature fallacy, I think, is like, no, tracking and measuring food is not natural. Like, but neither is the food available in our society. What are we even saying there?
I am trying to figure out what the takeaway is here.
I think
I think we were probably mad because sometimes we use tracking as a tool and we want tracking to be used in a specific way.
Yep.
But then people will say and have said, tracking isn't good. They have like a blanket statement, which is fine. For them, it might not be.
Yeah.
But it's like using a hammer to try to unscrew a screw. Like it's not going to be a good tool. But if you're using a hammer to smash a nail into something, then it might be. It's really just like how you use it or what you're using it for and the perspective you take on it. And so maybe I'm wondering if this was written as like a way to kind of like defend tracking.
Yeah, and I think we used to get a lot of people who would come to us and work with us who were working with other companies previously where tracking macros was like you have to do it 100% of the time no matter what. Like it was very rigid, and the way that we have always been with it, if someone chooses to do it, is an educational tool and not something that you should do forever. But it can provide tremendous value and understanding. But it's certainly not the only tool out there. And you don't like the argument that I would make now is how much do you need to understand about your diet on from a quantitative standpoint for you to have a quote unquote healthy diet? Like, is it absolutely necessary that we understand down to the gram what someone is eating on average? Like, I would argue now, no, probably not. I think back then we had a different perspective, or I certainly did.
I think it kind of goes back to the progress photo post.
Yeah.
Which is we were working with people who, our background in starting out was working with athletes primarily.
Yeah.
And we were working with people who are looking to lean out, to be as lean, to have as much like muscle mass as possible, but as like low body fat to help with gymnastics or lifting, like low body weight to strength ratios.
Right.
We were working with people who
were big fans of CrossFit and wanted to do whatever they needed to do to look like CrossFit Games athletes. Right.
And the thing is like looking back now, the athletes now who are performing the best in CrossFit don't look like the athletes did in CrossFit in 2019.
Mm-mm.
They're not as lean.
No.
They're healthier looking. They're stronger.
Yep.
They're better.
Yep.
And they eat more.
Yep.
And they don't track their food.
Yep.
Like, so I think part of that is coming from like, you know, if you're trying to lose 5 pounds and you're already really lean and you want to maintain performance, like you do have to track to the gram. And some people still do that for whatever reason, and that's fine. Again, it's like whatever goal. But for most people, not necessary.
No. Yep.
And just, it's kind of like a good enough situation.
Yep. Okay. Moving on. The next one. November 12th, 2019. Another intolerably self-indulgent post by me, to be honest. I am so embarrassed of myself. It is a picture of me in my old gym in North Carolina standing by a barbell. There's an assault bike in the background. I am bent over with my hands on my knees. I've clearly filmed this on my cell phone and have now taken a screen grab. The caption or the text underneath the photo says, "What is right and what is easy are rarely the same. Choose your path carefully." And then the caption really illuminates that, so we know exactly what I'm talking about. It says, "If you know, you know."
I like that you typed it out though. You didn't do IYKYK.
I think this was pre.
If you know, you know.
Yeah,
in
this
short
was,
form.
this is pre-acronym. It's 2019. I have no idea what was going on with me on this day. That last hashtag. Yeah, I mean, we're back in the "don't eat like an asshole, don't be an asshole." Maybe someone was mean to me. I don't know. I have no idea what this post is about. Like, it's saying what is right and what is easy are rarely the same thing. So choosing the right path means choosing the more difficult thing all the time. And choose your path carefully, as if like choosing something easy will get you in trouble. That's the best I can do. And obviously that is so wrong on so many levels. And I like really just want to delete this. This is actually maybe even worse than the coconut oil.
You have changed so much.
I know.
As a human, like and I think it's very reflective in posts, but I'm sitting across from you now, and I remember sitting across from you at during the 2017 CrossFit Games Open. I was in Raleigh and it was going on.
Oh yeah.
And and this photo reminds me of that. You were so intense.
Oh yeah.
You were the most intense person I have ever met. And like, I'm intense, but you were next level.
Yeah.
When it came to CrossFit and like training hard and working hard and like crushing yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've talked about why that might be.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I was running away from a lot of things. That the reason I got really good at CrossFit, I think, was it was a really fun distraction from a life that I wasn't enjoying. And I was at a great gym. Like, my coach at the time, I mean, you've met Steve, like that. He's an intense dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like gonna get you amped up to go like run. Like I at any moment probably could have run through a wall when I was like there. That was like
100%.
my level of like, I was at all times. I wanted to, in 2017, I was like, I wanted to win the Open. Like that was in my region. I wanted to be like number one. I want to win that. Why? I have no idea. Why was that so important? But it was just like eating me. It was just eating me. I don't know. I don't know.
I think I remember we were sitting at Betamanda,
yeah.
Betamanda, a restaurant in Raleigh. You should go. It's good. We were having curry. I was like so infatuated with you, just like so happy, which is kind of funny. Like I was just like so happy to be with you and like be at this dinner on a date, like excited. Yeah. And we had done the workout and I'm like, we're both going to qualify. Like it was a shoo-in for both of us.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the stress? Like you just do the workouts and you get through it. And I remember like looking across and being like, what are you thinking? And I'm pretty sure you said winning.
Yeah, that sounds like me. I'm thinking about winning. Yeah. The ultimate irony of that year, of course, is that it culminated with me having to drop out of regionals because I had just ripped my elbow apart.
Because you didn't stop.
In training.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't back off in training and then like just everything came to a head there. What a dweeb. What a loser. No, I just, yeah. My energy was a little misplaced at that time.
Where are my like energy ones?
You weren't like that. You've never really been like that. You've never been as like, maybe in a different way. Like I was like a little mini Goggins there for a while. Like I have a picture. I used to work out at the gym by myself, and you've been to CrossFit RDU. That place is massive. So it's like 14,000 square foot facility. I'm the only one in there in the middle of the day, and I'm in the middle of that gym on an assault bike doing like a 70-minute interval workout. And I would like on the whiteboard in front of the assault bike, I would like write motivational quotes. I remember on one, and I have a picture of this. I'm positive it is on my Instagram. It said "Road to Madison." And it was like circled. And I was just like doing my assault bike workout in front of this, like, God, road to Madison. God, do it. And I had like all my calorie numbers because it was some ridiculous interval. I'm like,
Wouldn't have been road. Was it Road to Madison? Because you're already in Calgary.
Well, it's 2017, so it moved. It was that season. It was 2017 was the first year that it was in. Yeah.
Time flies.
It really does. Yeah. I mean, there's like, I had stuff on my it's like what you do in the dark when no one's looking. Sleep? Sleep is important. That's a weird way to say it, though. You know, that's a weird way to say sleep's important. What else are you doing in the dark when no one's looking? Do we need to talk about that? Yeah, I was a weirdo for sure. My athleticism and my prowess came to me as an adult. I didn't know what to do with that, so I just put it online.
Well, I definitely loved you back then. Probably more for other stuff. But I think I like this version more.
Yeah. There's probably a level of tolerance going on. You know, when you're in the early phase, you don't see things.
Yeah.
Imagine I was that way now. Oh, I can't. I would leave myself.
Okay, this next one, and you're giving me the hard ones. Okay, another food picture. It looks like some sort of radish. On top, on the overlay of the image, it says, people are fed by the food industry, which pays no attention to health, treated by the health industry, which pays no attention to food, and aided by the nutrition industry, which refuses to tell the truth. And then the caption says, the food industry doesn't care about your blood markers. They care about selling you French fries. Many doctors would rather prescribe you a pill than try to understand what you put in your mouth every day. Oh my gosh, this is so harsh. Much of the nutrition industry relies on selling fad diets and tricks instead of simply telling the truth. Cleanses, detox teas, specialty diets, and fasts are not the way to health or performance. Here's the truth. Eat real food, mostly plants, not too much. Think we ripped that off of CrossFit. Yes, it's that easy. Is it a good business model to tell the truth? Maybe not, but it's the right thing to do. Education should be at the foundation of every nutrition program. If you don't know why you're doing something, it's possible you shouldn't be doing it. There's always room to refine for more specific goals, but not until you master the basics. Quote partially by Wendell Berry. Like it, share it. Don't eat like an asshole. December 9th, 2019. I am also struggling to understand this.
I think I mean, it's got, that quote is not CrossFit. It's Michael Pollan.
Okay. Well, it's similar. It's like,
yeah,
it's
the
a similar
100 fitness in 100 words.
Yeah.
Thing. I don't know. My whole issue with this reads to me as a person wrote this who's trying to piss multiple people off and get engagement on the internet. Like, people are fed by the food industry. Let's call that what it is. It's the agricultural industry, which is hugely important to supporting the global population. Certainly there are companies out there making potato chips that are super tasty. Treated by the health industry. I guess we should call that the medical industry to be more accurate, which pays no attention to food. That's not entirely true. And aided by the nutrition industry, which refuses to tell the truth. This really just says, like, we know more than literally everybody. That's what I'm getting out of it. Is that what you're getting out of it? I don't like many doctors would rather prescribe you a pill. I also think that we're sort of pitting someone's nutrition choices against their pharmaceutical needs, which is obviously not okay and not true. Pharmaceutical needs. You can also use pharmaceutical products to help with your health and aid in nutrition interventions.
I really don't like. It makes me uncomfortable to think that we wrote that because doctors are doing what we're all doing,
Yeah.
which is our best. And oh man, there's enough out there which is like, your doctor doesn't do this or this person doesn't do that. Like, we're better. I can help you. It's like, doctors are doing what they know how to do.
Work with me, not your doctor. What?
Yeah.
I think this whole thing, yes, it's that easy. Is it a good business model to tell the truth? Maybe not, but I guess we're just terrible business people. I don't know. It's focusing too much on like an individual consumer choice to address really like systemic issues with the food industry, the nutrition industry, the agricultural issues, the medical problems.
And it's not helpful.
No, I think it's just
There's no takeaway.
You can make individual choices that will, fix these problems or allow you to live outside of them, which like for some people, yeah, for sure. But there's so much privilege required to eat real food, mostly plants, not too much. There's so much privilege required to live outside of the larger societal issues that impact food availability, food quality, medical support, and the healthcare system. Like, you can definitely buy your way out of that and out of those issues. But you can't choose your way out. You can only choose your way out if you have the privilege to be able to. So I hate this. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Let's move on. So I don't have to. Okay, next one. Dated January 7th, 2020. Ooh, we're getting on fringe of COVID. Let's see. This is a picture of us with our shirts off. I think we're in Las Vegas here.
We are.
We're both wearing blue sports bras. We're sweaty from working out, not from coconut oil. And we look really happy. Like we're not stressed out at all, and we've just finished a workout. Pictures of health and not being stressed. And it says, "Can stress make you fat?" That's the text on the image. So that's lacking some sensitivity. The caption probably is more sensitive. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Yes. We know that a bad diet and lack of exercise are the two main culprits of weight gain. But there's a third perpetrator that's worth thinking of, ... Stress. We have to deal with stress from time to time, but if you're constantly stressed out by your job, relationships, expectations, or other this takes a huge toll on your ability to control your weight. Why? Cortisol. Cortisol is an important hormone that allows us to respond to stress by raising blood sugar, reducing inflammation, and shutting down unnecessary biological functions. Excessive cortisol is good for emergencies, but very bad when it circulates for a long time. Chronic stress means chronically elevated cortisol, which leads to abdominal weight gain, visceral fat storage, and muscle breakdown. Not exactly. Kind of. Yeah, sure. Abdominal weight gain. It leads to your body moving body fat stores around. Sleep. For many people, sleep is one of the first things to go. During high stress times, parentheses, elevated cortisol, cheeky mentioning the last point, inhibits melatonin production. Also not exactly, okay, sure. A sustained lack of sleep sets off a chain reaction in your body, yada, yada, yada. Thyroid. Got to throw that word in there. Leptin, ghrelin. Oh, we're throwing lots of words in. Sleep deprivation tends to cause a decrease in leptin and increase in ghrelin. Or how does Stacy say it? Ghrelin.
Ghrelin?
How does she say it?
I don't
remember.
Ghrelin.
Creating a situation where your brain gets constant hunger signals. Stress eating. Ghrelin isn't the only thing at work. When you're stressed, you tend to crave foods that will soothe your overstressed all of this is actually accurate. It's not, it is sort of like towing the line with the cortisol. Cortisol makes you fat. Cortisol makes you gain fat. It's a little too close to that for my liking. It's another one that's just like real sour patchy. You
It
know?
also, again, culminates in absolutely nothing helpful.
No, it's just like, here's this information.
It's just like managing stress is really important. Also, aggressively exercising on top of chronic stress won't work. And also, buying supplements to treat your hormones without addressing your lifestyle won't work. So,
There's no like call to action.
Yeah,
or,
it's
like,
not helpful. It doesn't address that a lot of people are under stress that they cannot control.
I think we just like used to aggressively deliver information.
It was like, hey, do you want to know why you're fat? Here.
Oh yeah, and exercising too much, don't do that.
But also, still exercise.
People are like, but how much? I don't know. Please help me. These posts aren't helpful.
We were the worst.
Yeah, this is not.
Like, talk about adding more stress.
Yeah, I'm stressed out just from reading that. My cortisol is up. Okay, let's do the next one. I'll do this one. It's really easy. This has to be, it was like January 6th, 2020. Goal setting for success, part 1. This is a part 1 of 2-part goal setting posts, and I'm just going to stop there because the whole point of this and me bringing this one is that I never wrote part 2.
Really?
I can't find it. I don't think I did. And I want to say that's, it's January 6th, 2020. Maybe I was just so caught up in like the insurrection. Is that when that happened? That's when that happened, right?
Probably.
Yeah. I think I was just like, this is not good. So maybe I just got distracted.
Wait, is that when COVID started? 2020?
Yeah, but just a little after.
Okay.
It was March.
This is probably when people were like, do you think it's going to be over in 2 weeks like Trump says?
And they were like, yeah, just have some bleach. I think the takeaway is actually okay. I just thought it was kind of amusing that I'm like, more to come on how in part 2, because it's, again, a lot of information without a lot of like, this is how you implement that. I promised to help people implement it and then never wrote part 2.
More on the how to come. I like this. I actually don't. I like part of it. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you are or want to become. I like that. I think it's true.
Yeah.
I think it's when you want to change, not who you are, because I don't think people change who they are. If you want to change your habits,
Yeah.
and become a type of person that, then little decisions can like reinforce that or not reinforce it.
Yeah.
But it then says in this post, if you become the goal, your success will know no limits.
Oh, I like that. Okay, that's good.
It is?
If you become the goal, like you.
Okay,
I'm just reading
I had
this.
a different impression of it.
Okay.
I had it like if you tie your identity to your goal.
Oh, I mean,
Oh.
it's highly likely I wrote it with that in mind.
But you're
reading
saying
it-
if you as the person
yeah, like you're
are the goal and it's not an external thing.
yeah.
Okay, I think you may have written it. I think this is like the coming out. This is when you were starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I was blossoming. Yes. This one's definitely not as like slap you in the face. This
Yeah.
doesn't beat you up before it gives you something, but it still lacks. I mean, there's no takeaway. That was part 2. That never happened. I think our part 2 is everything else we've done since then. Okay. Moving on to January. Oops, it went away. January 31st, 2020. Go for it.
I just want to make sure we're on that. Okay. Why you're not losing weight on a calorie deficit. So this one was also in the email. And I remember reading it thinking like, it's not untrue, but again, it's a big focus on weight loss. And we would have probably done it a little different. So I'll read. So the background is a scale that you would measure your body weight on. And it says why you're not losing weight on a calorie deficit. Because you're probably not on a calorie deficit. In order to lose weight and keep it off, most people need to create a calorie deficit of 200 to 300 calories per day If the deficit is much more than that, most people will not be able to manage the hunger and will not be able to sustain the deficit long enough to lose the weight and keep it off. A deficit too large will start to affect sleep, mood, and lifestyle. If you know what your maintenance macros are and you reduce those calories by 200 to 300, then you should start to lose weight over time. If you're not seeing any weight loss, then you might not actually be creating a calorie deficit. Here are some common mistakes that ruin a calorie deficit. You are estimating your food intake, not accounting for half tablespoon of peanut butter at breakfast, some cheese at lunch, the oil used for cooking dinner will ruin your calorie deficit for the day. If you're eating out at restaurants too often, you don't know what's in your food, what it was cooked with, how much sauce was used and what's in it, and how much food is even on your plate. And what about the bite samples of your friend's food? Are you tracking that? You aren't sticking to it on the weekends. Just a few drinks and some ice cream over the course of the weekend can easily ruin the deficit you created over the course of the week. You're not being honest with yourself.
What?
Picking foods in MyFitnessPal that are the lowest calorie entry, not entering the accurate amount, and letting yourself off the hook for the day or two can ruin a calorie deficit. Most people tend to underestimate their intake when they have to estimate. Keep that in mind. We believe that macros-based eating allows for the most flexibility while managing a calorie deficit. There are certainly other ways to create a deficit, but those generally lack the flexibility of macros, which can cause other types of adherence issues. Okay. If
Okay.
the goal is to lose weight,
Okay.
this all is true.
Yeah.
But
I just hate, why do we have to make people feel dumb at the start of every post?
I know.
Because you're probably not in a calorie
I think,
deficit.
again, that comes from this, we're going to set people straight. And what was happening a lot in that time, and still to a degree, is I'm not losing weight because I'm eating too many carbs, or I'm not losing weight because of my cortisol, or I'm not losing weight. But it was just a really shitty way to say it. And again, not really helpful.
And number 4, you're not being honest with yourself. There's a way, there's a different way to say that.
Yeah.
To deliver that point that doesn't point the finger at someone and then poke them in the eyeball.
Yeah.
You know who we were following at this time, who was also getting really big in the space and I think was probably exerting a little subtle influence on our messaging? James Smith.
Yeah.
Do you remember how
Yes.
he used to be? He used to be very similar, except he's a dude, so he can get away with it and no one really cares. But I think that's why we always sort of walked ours back, where he didn't. He would just say very he started sour and stayed sour.
Yeah. And then would be really sour in the comments.
Yeah. So I think that's, and I just, again, it's an over focus on weight loss as the goal,
Yeah.
but I think that was where we were at the time.
Yeah, I think there was just a focus on weight loss and a focus on those conservative deficits and posting it online to make people feel bad. Whereas I think now we take a more generalized approach to, hey, do you want to make some changes?
Yeah.
Sometimes the balance needs to shift, and it's very general. And then once you start working with the person, if they decide to work with you, then you can figure out what is the best approach for that person.
Yeah.
And so putting this thing out there and screaming at people and telling them they're not being honest with themselves and making them feel bad about decisions that they make because they're not informed, or I don't know, they're informed by the wrong thing, or they're confused or whatever.
Yeah.
Is not our MO anymore.
No.
Okay, last one.
Okay, what's the date?
The date on this one is February 26, 2020.
Oh, right. We're really nudging COVID. Okay. So the picture is an iceberg. You know it's going to be good. And we have the top of the iceberg and the top half of the frame, and then the bottom of the iceberg and the bottom. So we're super symbolic. And the bottom of the iceberg is significantly larger than what's over the surface. They just want people to have this in their head. What's on the surface is small. What's underneath the surface is really large. Okay? It says above the iceberg, physical appearance is an iceberg. Why did I need to say iceberg in a picture with an iceberg? I don't know. It says, I love his physical appearance, and it says what you see, abs. I'm like, is that all a physical appearance? What you see, you know what I mean? Like, we'll circle back to this. What you see, abs. What's really going on in that text? So what you see, abs, is right in line with the top of the iceberg. And then on the bottom half, with the bottom of the iceberg, it says what's really going on. Meal prep, meal planning, attention to food quality, not drinking alcohol, sleeping 8+ hours, managing stress, training, balance, consistency, patience, genetics. I am glad we threw the genetics in. I think that needs to be there. The caption says focused, period, effort, period, over, period, time, period, yields, period, lasting, period, results.
Horrible grammar.
Those aren't sentences. Just going to throw that out there. There are no loopholes, fast tracks, or hacks. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, keep it going. I mean, I don't hate that, but again,
true.
Whatever.
Okay, here's how it would change.
Okay.
Because I just had this, the other day, I was like, "Okay, Meredith, I thought of a post." And it's this. And whenever we have initial ideas for posts, it's very initial, and then we figure out how we want to deliver it, whether it's by posting it with an image, like an iceberg, or if we were to do a talking head or something like that.
Yeah.
So this one is, I sent it to Meredith, and it was, behind every six-pack is ... good genetics and quite possibly an unhealthy relationship with food and or exercise. So that's a hard 180.
Yeah, I mean...
And it's kind of fun to look back and be like, wow, we were definitely on a different planet.
Okay, it's such a problematic goal because, like, it's so driven by genetics, but then all of these other things. Like, I think the reality... Like, what if it said, here's the thing. What you see, great skin. What's really going on? A 10-step Korean skincare routine. Never going into the sun. Only drinking alkaline water. Daily vitamin C. Twice daily retinol. What else? SPF 70. Wide brim hats. And it was like just all this ridiculous stuff. I mean, that's appearance. But also even if you were like, nah, it's not worth it. And it's that whole, like, even if we can be so clear on what's worth doing and what is not, when it's other things, like if someone's like, here's how you get rich, never travel, save all your money, do this, do this, do this, never spend, live in a horrible little house, only drive pieces of shit cars. You're like, no, that's not worth it. It's not how, there's no balance. It's not how I want to live. Why is that never the case with abs?
I think it's starting to be.
And also, the reality is, the way that a more accurate version of this would be what you see, abs, and then you can't actually see anything under the surface because you don't know what's under the surface. Like, it could very well be what you see, abs, what's really going on, in exercise addiction, disordered eating patterns,
Poor mental health,
coping mechanisms, generalized anxiety disorder, genetics, sure, that's still there.
Problematic, mood regulation.
Broken relationships, inability to sustain relationships.
Horrible digestive system.
Diarrhea 3 times a day. That could be it. And there's tons of people out there who are probably have such problematic mental health, who, like, from a health standpoint, are not healthy, but like they look a certain way.
Menstrual cycles.
Yeah, horrible bone density. Yeah. Right. Really poor Z scores. But they're out there giving advice on how to have abs. Here's all you need to do to have what I have is develop this mental health problem, have absolutely no coping mechanism other than controlling your food and exercising compulsively, and just let that go untreated for about a decade. And here you are. It's that easy.
Oh, but you forgot that you have to compete in a sport that makes all of this seem totally normal.
Yeah, with other people who may have the same thing going on.
Yeah.
100%. You're going to get rewarded for, like, your increasing anxiety and level of mental health disorder.
Gosh.
I mean, but that's kind of, we would never make this post unless we were going to poke fun at it or poke fun at the industry for being this way, or for, experts, quote unquote, for pedestaling themselves like we used to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this really kind of like sums it up. I think we just
Yeah.
wouldn't do it.
I think what you said about what's really going on, unknown. And that's the takeaway. And it's like anything really with social media, you don't know what's going on in someone's life. And so comparing yourself to someone's physical appearance or the way that they present themselves online is just unnecessary and unhelpful most of the time. And it's just going to make you feel bad about yourself.
Right.
Like someone could be posting, I don't know, a family photo, but like the next moment they're all like, it's horrible. It's like they're screaming and crying, but you can look at that photo and I'm talking about the adults too. You can look at that photo and think like, wow, what a happy family. Like they're so happy with, their 2 kids and their 2 dogs and look at them like in their fall photo. And that's just one example.
Yeah.
But it could be anything really.
I mean, I think, and even before social media, that was true. You look over
Totally.
your white picket fence to the neighbors and you're like, well, they look like they have it together. Like, you have your stuff, but you never assume that people also have stuff going on. Everybody has stuff going on. Like,
Yeah.
that's the reality of it. Everyone has stuff going on that you don't know about, and it's probably bad. The way that manifests physically, like the same issues, the same mental health issues in different people. One person might obsessively eat. The other person might obsessively control their food and exercise. That's going to look super different. But who gets put on the pedestal? Right? Not the person that not the person that obsessively eats to control their anxiety and cope. It's the person who obsessively exercises and potentially gets really, really good at a sport doing it. Some people bite their nails. That's me. There's lots of little ways that people cope and deal with stress. And sometimes it's a lot of stress. And so you're never sure what we're looking at here. But we need to be kind about what we're looking at because almost everyone has something. And don't assume that you know what that is just because of how someone looks. I guess that's how I would write the post now, if I was to write it. Well, what a fun trip down memory lane that was. Golly.
Part of me wants to be the one to go back into our Instagram and be like, I think when we started doing videos, things got a lot better.
I think you like inherently write differently than you speak.
Yes.
And that's a good thing. Because, I mean, just reading those things, I would never say this. I actually would never, even when I was the most intolerable version of myself back in 2017, I would never have said that.
Yeah, you would never say these things out loud.
No.
I do think that, what do you think is, to close out, what do you think was the catalyst to shift our outlook and the way that we delivered information and what information we delivered? Like, what do you think was the biggest shift for you?
I think a couple of things. Probably reading more, reading, following different people in the space, but reading like Immunity to Change, like reading Brad Stulberg's work, like I think at one point I thought we need to get out of nutrition coaching. Like we need to figure out how to work with people in a different way. And so I kind of naturally just started engaging with different content and trying to learn about just different types of work with people, more holistic work, and then realized, shit, like this is so much better. And it actually helps people. And it doesn't even matter. Like the messaging can be so generic because what someone's working on is actually irrelevant because the tools to get there are the same. Like the blueprint is the same. The things that create resistance are the same. So whether someone is working on improving their nutrition to get healthier or lose weight, or they're working on improving their relationship or, developing professionally, it's all the same thing. That's probably one thing that, like a major thing that shifted. And then I think I personally found myself running into walls with the way that we were doing things, like actually working with people and feeling like I was not helping.
That's what I was going to say. I think actually listening to people.
Yeah.
And asking questions and not telling anymore.
Yeah. I developed this fear that I might be making people's lives worse. And so I was like, I don't care what's on our website. I don't care what people think they're getting, but what they're going to get from me is not that, because I can't live with this worry that the way that I'm working with people and the way that I'm making them focus on their food is actually making their situation worse, which I believe it was for some people. And nutrition coaching does do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Specific focus on nutrition in that way.
Yeah.
I think learning that it's not the biggest shift for me. And it sounds so simple looking back, is telling people what to do doesn't help them. And if they continue to fail at what you're telling them to do and you keep just telling them to do it, it makes them feel worse and it makes things worse. And I think that's where probably that fear came from. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was almost like, okay, we need to figure out a different way here. And I think with our reading and then the shift in Instagram and talking to each other, we just gradually shifted the way that we approach things and how we cared for people.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that.
Yeah, I think we used to spend a lot of time like trying to validate our beliefs, and that's what we would read things and look things up that felt good to us, and we would write things that felt good to us. And I think shifting into a more curious space where you're like, we don't actually know anything at all, number one. But I wonder what we could know, and I wonder what there is to know, and then I wonder how we can convey this information in a way that will be like engaging for people to hear and will help people. And so I think shifting from that sort of self-centered, self-indulgent, I want to validate everything that I believe, into like real curiosity about what's out there was like, I mean, that's kind of where we are now, I think. And it's through that we have developed our own sort of way of being and of thinking that is a culmination and sort of like at a confluence of all of these different schools of thoughts. And it's like our way of seeing the world. And so we create our own native things now, but that didn't come immediately. It was so much information was consumed to get there, and it was consumed urgently for a reason. Yeah, for sure.
It's tough because I do think there's value in learning about nutrition and improving performance and learning why you do a carb load or, what changes you can make to improve your life and your whatever, your health markers and what foods have what in them and how to include and whatever. But it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And I think what's cool is, and it kind of puts us in a bit of a sticking point. We're trying to figure out, how do we even describe our services? And maybe you just did, but it's hard to articulate them on a website.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I still have a huge, like a major, like personal interest in nutrition science and performance science. Like I find that so fascinating. But it's like, that's not how I like to work with people. It's like, I like that knowledge for myself and for my own use, but I don't like helping people put that into play. And I can't even tell you why that is. It's just like, it's something that's, I don't know. It's like for me, and it's not even what I want to put out there. Cause I think maybe it's because like fundamentally, I think that there's a certain level of information that for a lot of people just becomes really distracting. And like a specific type of information, like people are so prone to get lost in the weeds that I'm like, you're not to the point, you're not here yet. We need to go back about 100 steps. So maybe that's why, but
yeah.
Well, I guess thanks for doing this with me, Alex. And by this, I mean this company in the last, thanks for putting up with me. Ugh, gross. And for everyone here, I got a few folks on the email who responded, because at the end I was like, if you've been following us for like since the beginning, I have to both apologize and say thank you. And I would say the same thing here to anyone listening to the podcast. If you've been with us since the inception of our company in 2018 and are here in 2025 listening to this, I'm so sorry. And I'm so grateful that you've hung around.
And a lot of you out there listening have helped us change. I think without the better
people, we would never, you learn so much through people and through people's generosity with their experience and their sharing. And they have said it before, like that's the thing that I will forever be grateful for with this company and what we've done, is how much I've learned through other people. Like I don't know if there's a degree on earth that could give me the knowledge that I have now. We're just working with thousands of people and communicating with so many people. And that's something that I will cherish, I think, forever. So, thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it. You obviously know where to find us. I'm going to link all of these. I don't even want to. I'm going to link all of these
We're going to
posts.
link them for one reason and one reason only. You can check and see if you liked it back then.
And if you did, just
you can
unlike it.
take your like back, and you can also say to yourself, I'm really glad that I can look at a post like this now and not follow this person who posted it.
Yeah. How about
that's
this?
cool.
If you do make it to those posts, and you no judgment if you like them, it's fine. But if you make it back to those posts and you're reading them, yeah, just drop an hourglass emoji there so we know that you were there, and we'll just give you a little virtual fist bump. So thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being in our little universe, and we'll catch you in the next episode.